So this is my dog Jersey, and I invited her to be in this video because she helped me realize a very important lesson. She actually helped me understand something that I'm going to teach you today, which is in my mind probably one of the most powerful tools that you can get when it comes to financial freedom. Now, it starts with a little bit of a story. So about a week ago, she got sick. She was throwing up everywhere and it was very nasty. We took her to the vet. And at the end of the day, she was diagnosed with something called functional ileus. And my vet friends out there can make sure that I have said that term correctly. But at the end of the day, what happens is the gut just stops moving. And for whatever reason, it's completely unmotivated. And the fix is to give her an IV injection and to put fluids into her and hopefully wake it up. Now, obviously, spoiler alert, she's fine and is back to being a normal rascal. But I'm going to tell you that this cost us around $3,000. And I started doing a little bit of research. And did you know that 55% of the people in America today couldn't have saved their dog in this situation? And I have that capability because I have an emergency fund, or what I call an opportunity fund. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to explain how, in my mind, it is probably the biggest and most important shift as far as mindset goes when it comes to financial freedom. Let's dig into that. So the fund that I'm talking about here is the emergency fund. And if you follow Dave Ramsey's baby step, this is step 3, the emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of your expenses in the bank and the capability to use those for any sort of emergencies that happen to come up. And this way, what it does really from a psychological level is it takes you away from a scarcity mindset and puts you into an abundance mindset. Now, it helps that you at this point have dug your way out of debt. And that is a huge psychological shift when it comes to your relationship with money in the first place. But the difference between scarcity and abundance is huge. This gives you the capability to make decisions based on what you want, not necessarily based on scarcity. I mean, think about that. If you were in a mindset to where you're constantly just trying to survive, you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're not going to be able to be the best you, and you're definitely not going to be able to live your best life. So the psychology of getting to this emergency fund, or as we're going to call it today, the opportunity fund, is going to bring you from a mindset of scarcity into an abundance. And that's going to change your productivity. That's going to change your capabilities. That's going to change the way that you look at opportunity. That's going to change so many things. So obviously, huge psychological advantage to this particular fund. Okay, so we've talked about sort of what it is, and we've talked about why it's important to you, but let's dig into it a little bit deeper. Let's further define exactly what I'm talking about here. Now, Dave Ramsey would tell you 3 to 6 months of expenses. So basically, you look at your bills, you look at your expenses, however much they are, you times it times 3, you times it times 6. Now, the tutelage that he would give you is that if you are in a career, I'm speaking for him here, and I hope I can do that. I've listened and watched for a really long time. And Dave, if you're listening, you can always, leave a comment. But the point is that if you're in a job where it's not likely to go away, so you are a 9-to-5 worker or something like that, generally speaking, 3 months is the subset here. It kind of depends, though, on what your actual capabilities are and what you think. I think, personally, 6 months is the way to go. I think having that runway of knowing that you could lose your job today and still have and be able to survive for 6 months based on just your savings gives you a lot of power. Let's talk about that power. For one, it gives you the ability to say yes to something. If somebody wants to ask you to invest in something and it's going to take up half of your emergency fund, well, you have that capability now, right? So you have that opportunity. You can say, okay, well, I can deal with only having 3 months in my emergency fund, and I can deal with this opportunity here, which is ultimately going to make me more money. Maybe you need to spend some money in order to build a side hustle that's going to help you make more money. This is another way that you can use it. Maybe you just need to give it to somebody who doesn't have theirs saved up yet. Maybe you need to give it to some charity or somebody who needs some rescuing or something like that. This is another opportunity for this particular thing. So we're talking a amount of money that just gives you capabilities to make different decisions across different aspects of your life, depending on where it's at. Where should you keep this? I suggest a high yield checking account if you can get one where the fees are not there. You should be able to access this. I don't think that this is something that should be put into a mutual fund or something where it takes a lot of process to get it out. It can even be in cash in your bedroom if you really want it to be. But I think a high yield checking account where you can use a debit card or something like that to get access to this money is a very good place to keep this. You also are going to get a little bit of money off of it with a high yield checking account. Not a lot. Let's talk about how you actually get there. Let's say that you are like 55% of Americans and you do not have $3,000 in your emergency fund. And let's, talk about that. Honestly, Dave Ramsey's aspect of things is the best route that I've seen anybody do. I do think and clearly advertise, and I am a person who has been there and done that, to where we were in debt. We got our $1,000 worth of emergency fund. $1,000 goes into your cash account at your house, and that is your stable ground. Now, a flat tire doesn't bankrupt you. Now, something like a crown on a tooth probably still will, and you're going to have to deal with that as time comes. But $1,000 off, pay off all of your debt. You put this into a debt snowball. I'm not talking new things here. This isn't Joe's method. This is Dave Ramsey's method. Pay off all of your debt. Trust me, I've been there. I paid off about $45,000 worth of debt. It took us a long time, about a year, give or take. Maybe 8 months, and we got there and we did this. And then you build your emergency fund. So you take the same amount of money that you were putting into debt and you build your emergency fund, okay? So now you've got your money to where you have your freedom. You've got this capability. Now, I get it. That first $1,000 is extremely difficult. A lot of people don't even have that much. So that is the first step. And it will build a little bit of accountability in yourself, a little bit of that willpower to make sure that you have the capability to do the next step, which is pay off debt. And I think that sometimes this is where people need help. I'm actually a financial coach myself, and I'm happy to help. You can visit the website below. We can do a free call and decide if that's for you. But there's also lots of information out there. Dave Ramsey's written several books. Ryan Holiday writes books on stoicism that will help you with some financial aspect of it too. There's a guy that I follow, Gabe Bolt. He is fantastic on minimalism. If that's the particular style that you want to do, he's made a great life for himself based on that. He even taught me how to make better videos. If you're watching, Gabe, thank you very much for that. That was fantastic. Hopefully you're not embarrassed by that. And at the end of the day, if you need some help, reach out. Find yourself an accountability partner. Give me a call and I will absolutely help you. So that's it. That's the whole thing. We talked a little bit about what it was. We talked a little bit about it. We talked about the psychology. We talked a lot of it about where it was, where you should put it, and how you're going to get there. And we talked a little bit about how you actually take the small steps to get there, and about getting an accountability partner. I appreciate you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a comment below on where you're at in the baby steps, or what you think I did wrong, or where you think my strategy is incorrect here, or if you think it's completely right and it's going to help you get to that next level of your life. I would love to hear about that too. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this, because the like and the comments are really important to the algorithm. And plus, it's cool for my ego. I appreciate it whenever people are liking things and they're making it make sense out there and stuff like that. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.